How close do you think you guys are to turning the corner and kind of righting the ship on the season? I know you guys didn't expect to be 3-3, 6 games in.
Turning that corner is just, reducing the amount of self-inflicted wounds that we have. We just have to be able to be more consistent executing our assignments.
How do you keep your confidence level up, the team, when every one of you guys come in this week, every week and talk about you need to eliminate mistakes, but they still keep happening. So how do you keep your confidence up as a team?
Just continuing to stay true to what coach tells us. We have to continue, regardless whether we have to get those mistakes corrected. And although there are some reoccurring, we just have to make sure that we keep working to eliminate those permanently.
I remember the flash you showed as the ability to rush the passer your freshman year. I think about the Swamp and that couple moments you definitely had there. Do you think you might, with this team really having trouble with pressure, do you think you might become a bigger part of that?
It's possible that, Coach blitzes me some too as well.
Yeah.
There was a blitz that actually hit home. It ended up being a run play, but I ended up getting a TFL off of it. So the pressures are there, and maybe I will be a part of it.
So are you discouraged?
Not at all.
Do you think do you sense anybody in your locker room is?
No, I don't believe we are. We're just really looking forward to getting this bad taste out of our mouths and moving on.
Do you like where this locker room is now as a group of guys?
Yeah, we're a bunch of committed guys. That's one thing that I can definitely say. We don't take any of this lightly, and we're definitely looking to get better.
At the same time, are you seeing the improvement you want to see, given the fact that the 3 losses have come to teams that are 17-1?
For sure, there's definitely improvement. The talent, the ability, the flashes are there. We just have to make those more reoccurring. You have to be more consistent.
Talk about consistency. How are you able to I guess do that? What do you need to do to be more consistent?
It all starts in practice. That all starts today. Just being able to be consistent in our assignments just on day one and correct those mistakes. So.
First time this season that y'all are unranked. I know that's something that y'all usually say you don't pay attention to, but is it a little bit of a disappointment not to have that national recognition?
We really don't pay attention to it. At the end of the day, it's all about, putting our all into it every single week to get a win. And, it's always disappointing when we can't do that. So we're just focused on getting this win this week. So.
As bad as special teams played, it was still 34-20. You're right there. How do you got to stop in the offense, then went 3 and out. It just seems like when there's big moments, Anthony, and you're right there to get over the hump, you just can't quite make that play. How does that change?
I'd say that's a consistency issue. Just we have to be more thorough and more consistent in practice, and that'll carry on in the game.
But you're not getting blown out. You're there. It's just you need one more play. Do you get that sense? We're just sitting there shooting, and we're like, okay, defense just got to stop. It's 34-20. Offense gets the ball back, and they can't do anything. And then y'all let up a drive. Do you get that sense that you're there? You just can't make that one extra play?
Absolutely. As a team, we just have to be more consistent overall. So.
Is that a big reason why you don't get discouraged too? Is that you still are there? It's just you got to find a way to break through.
Yeah, seeing progress is definitely big for us. But when it's not consistent, it's just not enough. So we have to continue to try to get better.
When you're 3-3, and you guys you're looking at the schedule, you realize you might be able to make a little run here if everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, it's very important we find ourselves and truly learn from this. And like you said, it could be a really good season. We can go 10-3 from this point on and go to a good ball game and just truly learn from this and just take notes on this.
You put a lot of it on yourself to make sure that happens.
Oh, for sure. And as leaders on the team, it's very important to get these guys and stay as one. It's a time where people drift off and listen to a lot of media, a lot of negative comments from people's family. Everybody that's not playing, so it's very important to stay within the room.
Do you sense that some of the guys in the room are discouraged or starting to drift off?
Not starting to drift off, but I could guess that it's very easy to get discouraged because you just work so hard and you don't really expect to lose a lot of games. So it's kind of very easy to get discouraged. I know as a freshman I was the same way. So yeah.
Where do you find confidence when you're 3-3 like this? Because where does a team feel confident moving forward when you haven't had as much success as you thought you would?
I think the confidence just comes from looking at the game and actually understanding that you had opportunities in the game and you really didn't lose based off talent or ability. It was more so off of just not doing your assignment. I think that kind of gives you a little boost and motivation knowing that you can play those games. Bama was a great team. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we play hard. I think it's just in those kind of games, you just can't give those teams any kind of breathing room. You know what I'm saying? But they're a really good team.
I mean, how much better has it made y'all going against Bama, Clemson like that early in the season?
Yeah, I mean it made us a lot better. You know, I think that we're gonna see now. I think that it's very important to understand we play the top 2 teams, and the only benefit out of this we can get from it is learn from it and, you know, make these next games. It should be a lot, you know, not, I wouldn't say easier, but, you know, you're not playing the top 2 teams in the nation anymore. But, you know, hats off to them, and I'm hoping that we learn from this experience.
Consistency has kind of been the theme, or lack there of consistency. So, I mean, why hasn't it been there, and how do you become more consistent?
Starts in practice. I think that a lot of mistakes we made I can guarantee you that they came from on the practice field. You probably see us doing the same things on practice. Coach harps on that a lot. So I think it's very important to practice great habits in practice so we can come on the field and do it. As it starts on Saturday, it starts on Monday.
Do you feel like y'all corrected any of those mistakes that y'all been talking about in that game last week?
What
y'all been talking about the last couple of weeks? Got to correct mistakes.
Yeah.
Got to correct mistakes. Do you feel like in that game against Alabama that y'all were able to correct some of those?
We started off pretty strong offensively. I felt like came in, kind of put our foot down. I think that we didn't score one time in the red zone. You know, we have a bunch of offensive goals we didn't complete, but I think that with every game you have mistakes. But I think that just taking the good and bad from each game. You know, we did correct some mistakes, we just didn't correct all the mistakes. And you never have like a perfect game, but you want to just play your best and play extremely hard on each play. But
I know y'all are roommates. Kellen ran the ball a lot more this week. Did he come home a little bit more sore from some of those hits he took? It seemed like he took some pretty stiff ones on some of those runs.
Yeah, I mean, he's always sore. He's always banged up and stuff like that because he plays pretty hard. But Kellen's pretty tough, though, so he doesn't really talk about it a lot. He just on to the next one.
Can you tell about how he walks in the room or walks around the house that he's feeling a little bit more?
Nah, I'm so used to it now. Like, we just not any shade thrown, but just like so used to him just being sore after a game. We're all kind of sore, just banged up.
I think he's missed maybe one play ever. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the key to his durability?
He's tough. I mean, I'm not saying he's always like the healthiest, but he's just like even in this past game, he got hit one time and he got back up, and I was just like, dang, like I don't know if I would have got back up after that one, but he's tough, man. Hats off to Kellen.
I don't sense discouragement. I sense more so after the game disappointment. You know, because just you work so hard to put together a game plan. You know, going to football games, and then when the outcome doesn't come out the way that you hope it to come out, you're gonna have some disappointment from people. But one thing that I did sense even today is just guys who were encouraged and just resilient, because we've been in all these games, and we faced some really good teams, and we just know this is a long season, and there's a lot ahead for us that we have control of, and we're just excited for it still.
What's the benefit of playing those 3 ranked opponents already like that?
You go through so many growing pains, and then you understand what it takes to be successful, and you understand the things you can't do in big time games against big time opponents. You have to be able to execute. For one, you have to be able to put together a complete football game on all 3 phases of football, and that's something that if you look back on the film, box score and everything like that, we haven't been able to do. That's something that looking forward to Ole Miss, and then from there on out, we have some opportunities to really complete the goals and accomplishments that we want to complete. So there's still chances out there for us.
How close are you to reaching those goals?
It's hard to say how close, because you're never there. You're never there in reaching those goals. So it's a matter of just relentless, effort, and just attitude of just wanting to keep getting better, never being satisfied with where you're at, and then when we eventually get to where we think we want to be, we have to just keep going forward from there. You're never going to be there.
I feel like you're close to kind of flipping the switch as a team and getting over the hump, because you guys are right there in a couple of these games. Just 1 or 2 plays go your way. We're not looking at 3-3 right now.
Absolutely. It's tough to say. When you look at that film, you see you have those chances, you have those opportunities to get it done. And you can't keep. You have to eventually put it all out there. That's something that's the next step we have to take, to put it all out there on the field and play a complete football game. We've said that, and the losses that we've had. That there's a couple mistakes here. We've missed some opportunities here. in order to play in these in the games that we want to play in against the opponents we want to play against, we have to be able to put up a complete game, and that's the next step.
Alabama's going to move the football on third down against almost anybody, but what did you see as some of the issues there in third and long situation?
Third and long, I felt like Alabama, Tua, they did a good job of kind of undressing us. We weren't disciplined enough in like our disguises. I feel like sometimes if we were blitzing, we crept down a little too soon, and they were able to, the first one hit a glance, and he was able to take it for a touchdown. And they did a good job of undressing us as a defense and what we're trying to do from a schematic standpoint. So they did a great job of that, and hats off to them. That's something that we have to do a better job of, as really just keying in on the tendencies of quarterbacks and how they go about their approach and their cadence on third down. So we'll be able to do things we want to do on third down to be successful.
Ole Miss has been rotating 2 quarterbacks. Does that make it more difficult for you guys defensively?
It doesn't make it difficult, but you have to be aware of the 2 quarterbacks. You have to be aware of who they are and what they like to do, what type of quarterbacks they are, and just be prepared. That's something like Arkansas that we had to play against 2 different quarterbacks, and we were able to adjust eventually and get the job done. So that's just something going into the week we have the heads up on. Okay, they've been playing 2 quarterbacks and we're rotating them in. Let's be prepared for them and be able to play against them.
Yeah, Jimbo kind of said that Ole Miss kind of runs the ball to set up the pass. How important is staying on assignments in that kind of situation when they have that flexibility there?
Absolutely. Just staying disciplined at all times defensively is very key to being successful. And against a team, who run, deep pass, deep bomb, that's something that it'll get you a little frustrated playing in the secondary, of course, because it's run, and then they'll try to hit a deep one. So we just have to stay sound in what we're trying to do, be disciplined, and we'll be able to get the job done.
Pretty good. Just like looking back at the tape and just seeing what we could have done better. Obviously, we left a lot of stuff out there on the field, and just a lot of stuff that we need to clean up. But definitely can't question our toughness and will to fight through 4 quarters.
What was you kind of said it after the post game? It was obvious. Clemson, you weren't really ever in it. Auburn, you got off to such a slow start. This game started fast. You're moving the ball. What was the difference on offense, do you think, in this game?
Just more of a sense of urgency, and something that I talked about last Monday, just getting off to a faster start, and we did that, but just weren't able to keep up, and then sometimes losing field position battles, and so just got to play better as all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, how do you build off of that? You kind of alluded to, you felt like you guys really kind of played there the full game, something you hadn't done before. How do you build off that?
Just continue to do it, and we had a really good week of practice last week, and so just got to basically continue to do that, and we're going to go in with the mindset, and we are on Ole Miss now, so we want to go 1-0 against Ole Miss.
What about the fact that kind of the game's always kind of in there in the balance? Just go back to 34-20. Your defense has just gotten a stop. You can go down the field and score, but Kendrick gets the foul, and now all of a sudden you're 2nd and 25, and you just hit a big pass to Courtney. How do you kind of maybe be better in those bigger moments where the game is in the balance?
Just coach always tells us, it's what's in between your ears. So just a lot of, I'm not really sure what he said, but obviously a big time mistake on what he said, and I wouldn't say it cost us the game, but could have put us in a better position to compete and go down and score and make it a 7-point game. So
What have you seen guys from like Jalen Weidemeyer, freshman, stepping up? How important has he been to this offense and I guess moving forward?
He's been really good, and he's been working extremely hard in practice, and obviously it's super hard to come in and learn this offense as quick as he's done. So a lot of people didn't really see it week 1, but as he progressed and continue to work, his hard work is definitely paying off.
What does it do for this offense to have him as part of the vertical passing game and eating up yards at the middle?
It's a really big thing, and a lot of the times, Jace last year was getting a lot of passes over the middle, so just being able to have a tight end to control the middle of the field and win one-on-one matchups versus linebackers, and it's going to be really big for us, and he's doing a really good job of that.
You think he'll have a bigger role in the second half of the season?
I do think so, and sometimes he's not always tight to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes he's flexed out wide, and So just, getting him more comfortable in the offense, and I think we'll be able to use him in, some different ways.
In the past weeks that Jimbo said that one of the reasons why not to run sometimes with the quarterback is just the kind of beating that you can take running down. How do you balance knowing that a lot of the rushing yards need to come from you and getting those extra yards or getting down safe or not taking those hits? What is that kind of dilemma like during the game?
I don't really think about that during the game. I'm just out there reacting. So, if I see a defensive lineman coming towards me, I might, try to get by him or just take off and run or slide up in the pocket. But, I'm never thinking before a play, I'm going to drop back and then I'm going to take off and scramble. So it's just pretty much my eyes pretty much always staying downfield.
Sure. More maybe at the end of the runs when you're looking and someone's coming at you. Have the coaches told you to get down a little bit more or sometimes, you fight for those extra yards, maybe take a hit? What's that conversation like or that decision-making process like?
Something that we really haven't talked about, but it's just more of a feel thing. And, we're in the red zone, if I'm on the 5-yard line, I might, try to dive or something. But, if I don't feel like I can get any extra yards, I might just get down and, just protect your body.